Welcome back. If you're like me, you're spending a lot more time in the kitchen. We're trying to make things easier on ourselves these days, and I'm here to show you 5 of my favorite things that I use in the kitchen daily. I'm not being sponsored by any of these items. I purchased all of these things with my own money, and I've been using some of them for quite a while. The one that I'm going to start with today, the Gel Pro Mat, is something that I love, and I love it so much that I bought 2. Well, I bought one a few years ago, and when they came out with some new colors and designs, I decided that it was time for me to get a new one. The one that I just purchased is beautiful, and it is the same thickness. It is what they call their Gel Pro series. And because there was a design that suited me and my kitchen so perfectly, I took the one that I already had, which was not worn out, where I wind up standing and folding and sorting and doing things like that. So I actually love it in front of my washer and dryer. And if you are in front of your stove or sink or prep table on an ongoing basis, I highly recommend it. This is not something that you can just pick up at the store. You do need to order them, but it is well worth the money. So check out the Gel Pro Mat. They have so many different colors and sizes, and I do recommend the thickest one that they make. Continuing on with our theme from the ground up, I want to talk about something that I hesitated to get, but when I thought about how much I was not using my Instant Pot like I should be. And by the way, if you have an Instant Pot, I would highly recommend that you go on to the Etsy shop and find yourself a wrap. So it just wraps right around, and if you want to do a seasonal Instant Pot, you could get a red, white, and blue, or a Christmas wrap, or a 4th of July wrap. They're super cute, and that actually is a bonus. That's not one of my top 5, but I just think it's really cute, and people come over and they say, "Hey, where'd you get that Instant Pot?" And I say, "It's just a plain old Instant Pot," which I love, but it's the fancy wrap. So the thing that I bought to go with my Instant Pot is a rolling cart. Now this rolling cart makes my life so much easier, and I just roll it over to a plug that's actually on the other side of my kitchen, where it's not in the way while it does its thing. And then that frees up the rest of my kitchen counters for prepping and doing the rest of the meal. The other thing that I love about the cart, I think I paid less than $35 for it at IKEA, and it matches my kitchen too, so that's a bonus. But the thing that I really like about it is that the Instant Pot sits on the top perfectly. And then there are 2 more shelves below it that I can put all of the accessories and the different pans and different things that I have purchased over the past few years to go with my Instant Pot. And it suddenly becomes easier for me to use. Before I was digging in the cabinet, finding a certain pan or a certain sealer, because I have 2 different seals that I use for my Instant Pot. One is for savory, and then I have another one that I use when I make a sweeter, like a granola. I make a sugar-free granola in my Instant Pot. And this is not about the Instant Pot, but I do like my Instant Pot, so got to give it props, right? But the cart has made a world of difference as far as using it, keeping it handy without having it on the counter all the time. And then it's usually just tucked away at the end of my island, and it's not in my way at all. If you have one of these little carts on rollers, you can put it up against the wall or in a closet if you wanted to, and just roll it out whenever you're going to use it. So I really love that little rolling cart. And again, it didn't cost very much money, and it certainly has earned its keep in my kitchen. Okay, number 3. The third thing that I use on a daily basis, and this is something that you would think of typically only bringing out for some sort of special occasion. And I decided that I had about 4 of these glass pedestals. And the reason why I suddenly started thinking outside the box with my glass pedestals, or cake plates if you want to call them that, is that they became very difficult to store. It's a little on the heavy side, and it is breakable, and it was taking up a lot of space in the cabinet. And it's also so pretty that I didn't want to tuck it away and never see it, or only see it on a birthday or maybe during the holidays. So I did something with a couple of my other cake plates, and that is that I added a Lazy Susan. Now the one that I'm showing you that has a lip on it. So I decided I was going to put a Lazy Susan down inside of that pedestal. Now this particular one that I'm holding has a little rim, and that is where the dome fits on top of it. So as long as it's heavy and it wouldn't slide around your counter, you could still put a Lazy Susan right on top of this. You might think of only using Lazy Susans inside your cabinet, but I actually love having it out on my counter with all of the oils and special seasonings that I use on a regular basis. And by having these oils and different condiments up elevated and on a spindle, I have space underneath, which makes it a lot easier for cleaning the counter, or just having space on the counter that I ordinarily would not have if I had the Lazy Susan down on the counter. So again, trying to get double duty out of my serving pieces that used to only come out once a year. Now for something that is truly giving me double duty in the kitchen. Something that I received as a gift from a friend, and I love it so much because not only is my little egg cooker making me breakfast, but it is also giving me a facial. First of all, let me talk about what it was designed to do, because it is the greatest egg cooker. It makes a hard-boiled egg or soft-boiled egg to perfection, and I have been making hard-boiled eggs 50 plus years, and I have never seen an eggshell come off so easily as it does with this little egg cooker. Now that being said, I do know that my Instant Pot will make hard-boiled eggs also, and you know I love my Instant Pot. But this is my go-to because it is so small and I can just do 1 or 2 eggs. So I'm going to show you how it works and how simple it is. So first of all, let me introduce you to the cuteness here. And they come in so many different colors: red, yellow, blue, black, white. They're terrific, and they're very inexpensive. From, I don't know, $15 up to maybe $24 is the most expensive one I've seen. I think I even saw one that was a double decker. But if I were going to make that many hard-boiled eggs, I would just use the Instant Pot. But for me, 1 or 2 in the morning is all I need. If I want to make up to 6, I can. The little tray will take 6. And by the way, it doesn't have to be a hard-boiled egg, because this comes off, the tray goes back into place, and if I wanted to make an omelet, then I would just put my omelet in here, press the button, and it would make the omelet. And I have done that. They're lovely. Or if you like poached eggs, you can do the same thing with the little accessory. This all comes with it, and it will make a couple of poached eggs for you. Okay, so here's the way it works. You start off with the egg tray and just the pan here. So depending on how hard or soft you like your egg, you take the little measuring cup that is included, and just with tap water, you fill it up to the line, and it will tell you whether it's going to be a soft boiled, medium, hard boiled, whatever. And you will add the water to the tray. Okay, and I'm going to do that over at the sink, but just so you can see what I'm doing here. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your eggs And at the bottom of this same little water container, you take the cap off and there's a little pin. There's a little pin on the bottom there that you're going to take the egg and poke a hole into the egg. And that gives it a little steam vent, so when it begins to cook, it doesn't explode. And so that goes on the tray. You take your second egg, same thing, little hole right at the top, and you're going to put that in there. Water's in it. You're going to put the lid on it, and I'm going to take it over to the cabinet and plug it in. Okay, so we're all plugged in now, and I'm going to press the start button. And as the eggs begin to heat up, you're going to see a stream of steam start to come out this spout. And I use that for my own personal facial steamer. And it's very similar to what you would have if you went to the facialist and had them steam your face. So it's starting to get hot right now. In less than a minute, the whole thing starts to get hot. The steam is starting to come out. As the steam begins to come out, and hopefully you can see this, you can even reposition the steam valve to better suit your face. But that steam comes up in a nice little cone right here, and as it's cooking the eggs, I can just lean over it and get a little facial, and I actually keep some serum in my cabinet so that after I steam my face, I think I'll move it a little closer. After I steam my face, my pores are nicely opened and I am ready to apply my serum. So I love this, and I suppose you could have it in the bathroom and just use it as a facial steamer, which I think it's a great 2-for-1 item. I love it. Okay, moving right along. So I don't know about you, but over the past few months, I've been in the kitchen a lot more often. I've been looking for new, interesting recipes, things that in the past I might not have tried because they were a little more time consuming, a little more involved in just the daily meal prep. And as I looked for new recipes, and certainly for baking, this is true, I discovered that they were using grams instead of ounces, and so they weren't calling for a cup of almond flour or a fourth a cup of a sweetener, stevia or whatever I might be using. Instead, they were calling for grams. And so I thought, wait a minute, I've got a way to convert this. I have a kitchen scale. The reason why I originally bought the kitchen scale was to measure out portions of protein. But then I realized I could use this for my baking. So over the past few months, I have used this and just went by grams. And you can check whenever you go to buy a scale if you want the extras. This one will tell you how much salt, fat, how many carbohydrates. Tells you a lot. For me, I basically use it to convert things to grams. After doing that for a few times, I realized that the items that I was baking actually were turning out better. They had a better consistency, they were more evenly baked, and I have to attribute that to the fact that I was actually using the grams and not trying to convert it. So I really have enjoyed using my scale for something other than what I originally bought it for and what I originally thought I was going to use it for. And it's another item that I use quite often now that had been tucked in the back of my cabinet. Glass straws. And that's why I don't take them in my purse and I don't travel with these. I bought a set of glass straws because I do like using a straw, and I'm trying not to use all the plastic straws. I have a few paper straws, but if you're like me, you start drinking something and then after a while you forget about it, you go back to it, and by the time you go back to it, the straw is just it's worn out. It only lasts a short period of time. So I decided I was going to try these glass straws, and I really like them a lot. And I do believe I bought these on Amazon. There were 2 long ones like this, 2 long bent ones, 2 short bent ones, and then there were 2 shorter straight ones. And this is the way they come, wrapped in paper, nicely presented. And then they come with these neat little tips that you put onto the end of the straw so that you're not actually biting on the glass as you drink from them. And then you've got your little rubber tip on the end. So 2 short and 2 long ones, and each one has a little bend in it or not. So, and then I was given a gift by someone who knows that I do like my glass straws, and this is for a smoothie. It's a thick glass, and again, I would not take it with me, but I certainly enjoy it here at the house. And so that is something that I have been doing over the past few months, is using my glass straws because they make life more fun and they are all about making things easier too. And these days, we like things that are easy and not too complicated, and maybe add a little fun to our life too. Anything that makes my life easier, I'm all about, whether it's glass straws or even a new haircut that's so much easier to maintain. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you soon. Subscribe if you would like to follow along as we go through the many aspects of 50 plus, and I call it 50 plus because I'm actually closer to 60 plus. So join me again, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.